I guess what I'm saying is we got to get better each week. Like individually and collectively, we've got to get better. There's no doubt about that. And what I'm saying is I don't want to be one of these teams that waits until you have a loss for the wake-up call to happen, and now you start doing all the little extra things and getting things corrected. I mean, the obvious one that we haven't gotten corrected yet is penalties, right? That's just making things harder than it needs to be on offense. It's making things harder than it needs to be on defense. And we have been a disciplined team. So we need to get that fixed. And that's probably I was talking about in general, but when you talk about specifics, that was my message to the team is you take the penalties out of that game, the ones that we can control. Then that game probably wasn't as hard as it needed to be. And like what happened in the second half, the game and the score gets out of whack, and you force them out of their traditional game plan. That game was going exactly how they wanted it to go for a long time. And then what happens is we're able to get, a more significant lead. Now they have to play a style of play they don't want to play, and then all the sacks come. If that doesn't happen, we don't get the sacks, and then you guys are asking me after the game, well, we haven't gotten pressure on the quarterback. It's because of the style of game and how the game was going. So it's those things that I'm talking about. In general, we got to get better. We shouldn't have to have a setback. We got to just make sure we're not becoming complacent and get better every single week, individually and collectively. But then also the areas that are obvious that we need to get cleaned up, like penalties, we need to get them cleaned up. Can't just keep talking about it. You guys don't want to hear it. The fans don't want to hear me just keep talking about it. We want it fixed. And ultimately, as coaches, we got to make sure that happens. But also the players have to make sure that happens.